Salutaciones cordiales, saludos de corazón. Estamos en el Parque de la Ciutadella, en el Satsang de los sábados, y vamos a proceder a hablar en English. Welcome to Satsang, informal Satsang in Ciutadella's Parc of Barcelona, Spain. We are in an informal Satsang with Brian. Today in India it's Navaratri. We are in the moments of adoration of Shakti, Parashakti, Devi. In Indian traditions, Shakti, it's immanence. It's all the koshas. Ana Maya kosha, it's the physical body. Shakti, Maya, Shakti, Ana Maya kosha, the body of alimento in Spanish. In English is alimento, food. Okay, the body of food. Ana Maya kosha. Prana Maya kosha is a subtle, energetic body with the chakras and nadis, no? There are Mano Maya kosha. It's body constructed with mind. Our mind is Shakti too. It's and Vishnana Maya kosha. It's a body with intellect. This viveka, discernimiento in Spanish. You have an inner will to decide what kind of thoughts or silence your mind. And we have Ananda Maya kosha and Atman and Brahman, no? The transpersonal dimensions of the consciousness. Okay, I am open to speak an informal conversation with you, Brian, about this. I pongo sobre la mesa, I open this idea.
Sure.
Because this is Shakti, this is Maya. Sometimes in the spiritual path, people do a pratyahara. Pratyahara is reabsorb the senses to Hridaya Kasha, for example, and go to transcendental experience. Maybe Samadhi if you have Kripa, if you have grace. But I reivindicate Prakriti or Maya or Shakti too. I am understanding that it's important the physical body, maybe doing a little of Hatha Yoga, the pranic body, and Prana Maya kosha, and very important the Mano Maya kosha and Vijnana Maya kosha, because there are middle point in transcendence and immanence. You can, if you work very well with Mano Maya kosha and Vijnana Maya kosha, buddhi, intellect and mind, you can develop the inner experience of Samadhi.
Yeah, what comes to mind is something that I'm often contemplating, which is what you're talking about with these different energy fields, let's call them, are that there are layers within the body and then outside of the body, right? So what I often contemplate on is where that separation happens. Where does it begin? Where the body is where it's no longer the body, where it starts to...
The boundary.
Yeah, where is that boundary?
Okay. An American philosopher called Ken Wilber, I like very much, have a book called No Boundaries in English, and La Conciencia Sin Fronteras in Kairos Editorial, a good editorial in Spain. in Spanish. He explains that the formation of the ego in the infancia, childhood, first the children are connected with, in a pre-personal state of consciousness, connected with all the reality. In the steps of evolution, there are a constructed identity. First, using the language. You separate with the mana maya kosha, with the mind.
Right.
What is a tree? What is a book?
Right. You literally create the objects by naming them.
Objects, but the reality without mind, it's without boundaries.
None of those things exist.
It's the same thing. And
so you're saying language is the boundary?
Language, you can use the language for understand.
Well, you need it to get there, to get to a certain point.
But maybe for understand the transcendental dimension of the consciousness,
the words need to fall away.
You need to do silence or nirodha. Patanjali tells yoga's chitta priti nirodha. Yoga, chitta, mind, vritti, movements of mind, nirodha, cessation. Cessation is silence. We
have a visitor with us.
Invitado, una gaviota, pequeñita.
He's quite nice.
Okay. When we develop silence, emerge the inner transcendental experience in the consciousness. Patanjali, in the first chapter of Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, explain Samadhi Pada is the name of the chapter. Explain cessation, nirodha. The first sutra, it's Atta Yoga no Sasanam. Okay, now, here and now, no? Atta, here and now, we are prepared to explain yoga. And the second is very important. This Yoga's chitta vritti nirodha. It's nirodha, silence. In silence, it immerses the samadhi, the unity experience. There are some typologies of samadhi, savikalpa samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi.
If I can interject that, when you say silence, the idea of silence can be very basic, just meaning just quietude. But we're talking about a much more profound type of silence, right? Silence of the mind.
There are a discipline, beautiful discipline, to develop this silence, because you can be with the mouth closed, but with a lot of British movements of your mind.
Yeah.
It's not only closing your mouth.
Yeah.
It's closing your movements of mind.
Right.
But there are a practice that you do a mantra, for example, only a movement of the mind. And when you develop this practice with this mantra, sometimes it produces cessation. Okay, stay in this silence and impregnate.
Japa yoga has always been the tool that I've turned to quiet my mind, but at the same time, that takes.
Buenas tardes.
Hola.
¿Hablan español, chicos?
Estamos haciendo una clase.
Pues disculpen por interrumpirlos, sorry, que tengan muy buen día.
Japa yoga is, but also takes a lot of practice to get to that place where the mantra begins to turn into silence, because for a while it's the mantra, which is still mental activity. It's still and
Reduce.
that takes a lot of practice to get that to fall away. You know, aside from also being in challenging environments, sonically speaking, you know, like a public park like we're sitting in now, for example. You know, the great teachers of yoga often said that you should be able to meditate in the most, you know, in the loudest place, you know.
Okay, in Trika, for example, in Tantric Shaivism of Kashmir, Shiva is present. Shiva is like the last reality. Shiva, Shakti, Nara. Shiva is okay. In Shaivism of Kashmir, on one hand, Paravan or Paravak, it's the last experience, the last reality experienced like Shiva, Shakti, and Nara, the individuality, all the manifestation, and the last reality. In this text, we can understand that the yogi is not in a cave in the Himalayas. It's in the world. Jesus of Nazareth explained it, be in the world, but not belong to this world. Some
Be in the world, but not of the world.
Okay, this is the correct.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm translating because I am speaking.
Well, of course,
Okay.
and Jesus, he didn't say that in English himself, so he was he was either speaking Aramaic or Hebrew.
Yeah. It's like Tilopa to Naropa in Tantric tradition of Buddha Dharma, Tibetan Buddha Dharma. Life in Nirvana in Samsara. Vive el Nirvana en el Samsara. Or Padmasambhava explain it. I have the highest level of attention to the whole cosmos. At the same time, with this attention, I in a perception of a piece of tierra, earth,
of dirt.
like a point of mustard, or like the same. It's expansion and contraction at the same time, at the same time in your consciousness.
Right.
No? And turning to Ken Wilber, the things that we was explaining in this conversation, Satsang, spontaneous Satsang, with words.
Ken Wilber, he's he has no hair, right? He's like very shiny, bald man. Yeah, I know this man. Yeah.
In Boulder, Colorado.
Absolutely, yeah. In Boulder.
I speak with him in 2007 year with telephone.
Yeah. No, I actually that's where I came about some of his work. We were living in Boulder many years ago, just for a short time there, and yeah, he's quite famous there. So
yes.
Sorry.
So famous. Okay, I was speaking that about that we have intellect and mind, and we separate the reality with words. Okay, it's not only Ken Wilber, it's tantric, it's a life, no? When we separate, put boundaries, speaking or thinking, we fragment the reality in different elements. But we can transcend this in silence, but inner silence, and maybe we can open to notions or concepts, non-dualistic concepts. For example, using Sanskrit words, we alimentar, nutrir, the mind with we are hacking our mind with notions and concepts that open to non-dualistic perception.
Yeah, can we talk about that further? This is an extremely interesting topic for me. It has been for a long time. When I discovered that Sanskrit, and especially Sanskrit forms that create a mantra, when pronounced properly, they produce frequencies that are very specific, and there's a science to this that is so specific, in fact, that like you're saying, can either lead towards transcendental states, can lead towards specific forms of healing, for example, or which is necessary to get to the next step, which would be transcending that state of illness, or what's happening in the body, and being able to move beyond that. So the mantra. This is very interesting. I think many talk of mantras and so forth, but this particular aspect of mantras is not discussed, it seems, enough.
It's a mystery, but I believe in these things.
Yeah, maybe it's too esoteric. People think, oh yeah, that's not real. It's too...
I believe in these things that I was saying. I develop sadhanas with different kind of mantras, and it's true. Maybe there are mantras, saguna mantras and nirguna mantras. I have attraction for saguna mantra, nirguna mantras.
Nirguna.
Like aham brahmasmi, soham, aham, om, soham, and this kind of mantras. My perception opens very. It's like an ocean. It's a vritti, a movement of mind, but it's blessed.
Right.
Paramparas.
I have this same experience with Shiva mantras, which are very similar. Yeah.
Shiva mantras. Wow. But Shiva mantras is true. In my experience, Shiva mantras open easily to non-dualistic perception. But sometimes it's too much the experience, and it's nice to connect with Dvaita, not Advaita, Dvaita, the dualistic perception. It's true. And there are Vishishta Advaita. Vishishta Advaita, it's a middle point. Like I have to develop the comprehension more of this middle point. But in my perception, sometimes you need being dualistic perception for operating the world. You are not in Himalayas.
Absolutely, and it's really, it can be so powerful and life-changing in this world, because yet we're not in the Himalayas. We're not in a cave in outside of Kerala in India, or Calcutta. We're not there. We're here, and it's a noisy world here. For me, I don't think that I don't know if I would have continued in the same way in the path towards Vedanta if the mantra hadn't been introduced to me in a very dynamic way. And I was going regularly each week on Wednesday evenings to Spirit Rock to sit and do Vipassana meditation with Jack Kornfeld in Marin County, California. And I think it was the second time that I went, and the reason I continued to go back was him introducing a mantra, just a simple Sitaram mantra. And we just did. I had never heard of this before. I had no idea who Sita was or who Ram was at all. Had no picture in my mind of Sita, so beautiful, or Ram, so prominent, King Rama.
You can send.
Yeah, please, let's break into a little Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram,
Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram.
Jaya Jaya Sitaram.
Jaya Jaya, Ram Ram, Sitaram.
And that was it. That was that mantra and Kirtan stayed with me the entire week until the next session, getting together there, and it's just amazing how deeply seated it can become, you know, into your body, and then kind of working its way outward, and yeah, it's very powerful, very powerful.
Okay, it's only a vritti but it's a vritti opening notions and blessings. It's I don't know how to explain the experience of Kirtan or do japa, or sometimes I use japa with dhyana or dharana and dhyana. Or sometimes chanting, I use bhavanas of Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, 37 for example, of sound, no? Sound bhavanas, 38, 38, okay. I don't know how to translate in English. I have in Sanskrit and in Spanish, but the idea in this bhavana or dharana or contemplation of Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, it's this person in submersion in the word Brahman, Sabda Brahman, develops Supreme Brahman. Okay, doing contemplation, meditation in the mantra, when we are chanting a mantra like Sitaram or other, or listening sounds like this sound of this part, you can use this sound, the experience of this sound, for catapultate to transcendental experience, no? 38 of Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. In the 40 bhavana, for example, when we use a Bija mantra, for example, or a mantra, or long mantra, we can meditate in every syllable For example, you have to contemplate the previous moment, the previous frame, or the previous moment of the reality of Om, the moment of you are chanting Om, and the last and the finished moment of the experience of chant. Be in awareness and show the same and hum the same.
Yeah, I've experienced what you're saying by combining japa yoga with pranayama. So when speaking the mantra, seeing the mantra, and breathing the mantra, all at the same time. And I find this actually easier for some reason. I don't know the reason exactly, but I find this easier to do with longer mantras, like the Mahamrityunjaya mantra, for example. I'll go through each syllable of that mantra and breathe it out, and then at the same time, So you have the phrases, and the mantra is actually seems to be structured almost for the breath. The length of the phrases of the Mahamrityunjaya mantra, it's like a breath. Each phrase, or maybe that's how I've conditioned my mind to do it like this.
Where do you learn this?
Right. Sorry.
Where do you learn this practice with Mahamrityunjaya mantra, for example, or other mantras?
I learned it from my guru, actually, from Swami Prabodhananda at the San Francisco Vedanta Temple.
Wow.
That's something that we practiced together. There was a small group of monks there at the temple, and we would often get together and have sort of private talks with Swami and practices of sort of higher forms of yoga. And
it's
that
from
was
Ramakrishna mission.
I mean, it definitely, it's not coming from Ramakrishna directly himself, this type of practice, but it's tying in the various forms of yoga, which many of his devotees, Ramakrishna's devotees, of course, took on, different, like Swami Vivekananda was really taking on jnana yoga, the knowledge. Swami Vivekananda was the knowledge. Go, bring the knowledge. That was his. And then there was Swami Brahmanananda, who had another purpose of bringing, other aspects of yoga. And I think each of the devotees had this going on. You can find kind of different teachings through all of the devotees and through their writings and teachings. But this was japa was something that was very important to Swami Prabodhananda. Was always talking about this practice of japa yoga to clean the mind and get into meditation. He just wanted me meditating no matter what, and he knew that my mind was like a monkey brain. That's what he used to say.
Mind.
Yeah, he called your monkey brain. And he's right. It's, and I'm also a double air sign Gemini, which is a big problem.
I don't understand this.
Gemini, Gemini.
You are Gemini.
Yeah, but double.
Gemini's ascendant Geminis.
Yes, but it's already twins.
I
right?
know.
But there's another split too.
I'm Pisces ascendant Geminis.
Right. Ah. So my split is split again. Right. So you have the two brothers, Castor and Pollux.
I
right.
know this.
In that split, in my chart, each of those also have a Castor and Pollux. So there's there's this like
Yeah.
anyhow.
Gemini have the capacity of understand a lot of points of view too.
Absolutely.
But sometimes it's difficult to know what is his own point of view.
True, and it's also difficult. Can be very difficult to concentrate in general
Okay, Japa is perfect
on
for
anything.
this.
And so it was, for me, it was the only way. You know, I've had this around my neck for 23 years. This has been on my neck. This thing.
Powerful.
And
it's a sandal wood.
Yeah, and very strong,
Very nice.
very strong string, by the way.
It's like it have to wear like a tirta prana.
Yeah, but you never wear it in the shower. You don't get this wet. I always take it off. That's why it's still strong. If you wear in the shower, it's going to break. Anyhow, but yeah, Japa Yoga was prescribed as for me personally as the way. I was given a mantra by him. He said
You recite the mantra.
he gave the mantra.
Swami Prabhupada.
Right,
gave the mantra.
and then
Sacred, I think maybe it's sacred, and sacred.
right. I'm not allowed to.
I think it's better not.
I'm not
explain-
allowed to say
not
what it is.
explain
I've
this
never
to-
told anyone what it is.
Okay, better.
Yeah, ever.
But you can use a lot of kind of mantras. Too.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Well,
And how is your practice with japa? It's
so japa is combined with pranayama.
a
right.
jap, like in Sushumna Nadi.
So it's
ascend,
not just
sila.
it's not just saying mantra and having a sort of singing breath. It's a very focused practice of pranayama. So controlled breath, but with the mantra.
I know.
Yeah. So together at the same time, and this is all done in silence, though. I'm not doing this out loud. I was at first. For a long time, I had to do it out loud, sometimes very loud, to get everything to
samskaras,
right.
practice,
Yeah, just too
basanas.
too much
Yeah,
attacking me from every point, and so I was taught to, if I had to yell the mantra, to scream it if I had to and this worked.
Clean. I think that doing this, it's remove a lot of inner obstacles.
I think so,
and
too.
Clean your Mano Maya Kosha
Yeah.
and Vishana Maya Kosha. All the koshas. Swami Shivananda explain, master of Vishnu Devananda, explain these kind of things that do japa, thinking in God, in Brahman, clean, removes
Right.
the energies, the density of the energy of the Anamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha.
Swami Shivananda is where I first learned Japa Yoga. Was from his book called Japa Yoga, and where he explains this, and really, I love how he repeats these things over and over and over until it really gets inside. But Swami Shivananda is where I turned to first to learn about yoga in general.
Me too.
Yeah. I just was searching, and this is before internet. I think we had a little bit of internet, like it was called America
Divine Life Society
Right.
in Rishikesh. They have a lot of books
Oh, yeah.
of Shivananda in digitalized, and it's with very powerful wisdom.
Yeah.
I stayed in Tapasya Kutir of Swami Shivananda
Oh, wow.
in Rishikesh 1 month.
Oh wow!
Every day we tap the pujari, speaking or being silent and meditating.
That's amazing.
And in a moment, I have a mystical experience, very deep. And Swami Brahmachari Shiv Shaitan tell me, okay, your friends from Argentina, travelers in Rishikesh, cannot understand your experience. God tell me I have to do the name Vasudeva. And I have the name Vasudeva like spontaneously diksha without rituals. I was in this experience, in an inner experience, deep inner experience, very hours and hours in Tapasya Kutir of Shivananda. It's a tirtha, sacred place. And sometimes I think that I have to use Vasudeva name, Vasudeva, because Patanjali Yoga Sutras explain that the Vritti Smriti, the Vritti memory, is used. Commentarists explain that you can use this Vritti for remember Samadhi, and if you remember this experience, you can awake another time. Because when you develop a Samadhi, Savikalpa or Nirvikalpa, you return to the ordinary state of consciousness, and you have movements of mind, samskaras, and these kind of things. Maybe the text explain about samadhis, about inner experiences, and sahaja samadhi. For example, you establish your point of perception in sahaja samadhi and stay the rest of your life in this state. For example, the aspirant is different. You can taste a little and return to the ordinary
of course.
state. Acha. Okay.
Very nice. Wow. It's
Very
nice to make that connection with someone because, Swami Shivananda was a very important teacher for me for many years, actually.
Invitación, sí, algo, por favor.
Tobacco.
Sí, por favor.
Indian tobacco. For you.
Gracias.
BD.
I smoke biddies.
Yeah, I
Indian tobacco.
haven't seen these in years. Yeah, they have these in the United States, but they're actually not legal.
It's different.
But they still have them anyway.
It's not legal, but
No,
they
still have them.
contacts with Indian people and give me this tobacco. Okay, acha.
Yeah, Swami Shivananda brought a lot of structure for me. I had, at that time, this was quite a long time ago, almost 30 years ago, their publishing house in Rishikesh was still printing the books. I don't know if they still do.
Yes, I stayed in this printed
In the
place.
printer, right?
It's in
And I
Rishikesh.
ordered all of them, and I have them.
I don't
No,
understand.
I ordered all of the books.
You buy
I bought all of them.
all of them.
No, well, not all of the books, but
Because
each one.
It's extensive.
No,
the
but each one.
Okay.
I have every book that Shivananda
Okay, you.
wrote, and every one that they printed as well. All of his picture books, and that that they put together. It's
There are a very.
a huge amount of
There are
books.
a very deep book of Shivananda, not joke, nada yoga.
I'm sure that there's
Kriya
more
yoga,
books in
Tantra
India
yoga,
than they were selling, but I had this catalog from the printer of all of the books, and the books were only 30 rupees or something. Each book cost nothing, and so I just said, well, I'll take all of them, please, just make a donation, to them or whatever. So I sent them.
Shivananda is a Mahatma.
Yes.
Mahatma.
Absolutely.
Mahatma. They explain things about self, realize it, do good, and be good.
They've done so much outreach, with the hospitals and the education and they've had a great impact in India, but also bringing Hatha Yoga, especially to the United States. Shivananda Yoga was one of the really first introductions to real Hatha Yoga in the United States.
Yeah. With Vishnudevananda and
right.
another.
Yep.
Okay. United States in 60s, more or less. There are a lot of masters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, now there's too many.
First Vivekananda.
Yeah.
In the Parliament of Religions.
Right.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
And in the siglo XIX, in X century,
Yeah.
and in 60s of this last century, there were, for example, Srila Prabhupada, Muktananda. There are a deep connection with the Dharma. It's a fortunate place. I guess level masters going to the United States, and now in 21st century with the internet and the revolution of the transports, masters travel.
Yeah.
It's not necessary stay in India.
Right.
The important thing is you develop parinama, transformation and practice, and if you stay in a sangha, maybe the master come because they perceive in six consciousness that okay, we are in Kali Yuga. It's different.
Yes, we are. Indeed.
Yogananda tell in the next centuries in Occidental world will born a lot of yogis in Occidental world. Maybe people that are connected with these scriptures and this wisdom are this kind of yogis that are speaking his texts. Paramahamsa Yogananda. For example, Paramahamsa Yogananda goes to the United States.
Yeah. It's interesting, though. I mean, there has been a big shift, and I think, like you said, the access and interchange of the information and I think has greatly changed everything and has made the community much bigger, where to the point actually where certain things have sort of fallen away, things from before. The example that I want to give is the Shivananda Yoga Center in San Francisco, right? They have a nice house in the middle somewhere of San Francisco, and however, there's a lot of sort of discord and very kind of disorganized situation there. I don't know about these days, or if it's changed, or I don't even know if it's still there.
Okay, maybe it's momentary. There are in sanghas there are moments of disorganization.
Of course.
But sometimes going to sangha one only person or two persons change all the energy.
Yeah.
And I see for example in Hare Krishna movement in Barcelona was in the past like occult, like very. I don't criticize this. I only tell was in occult. Like if you know, you go, but not expensive.
Right.
In this moment, it's very expensive. This movement in Barcelona, there are a Kirtan Bhakti festival free.
Yeah.
You can go for free. And there are two sanghas in collaboration.
Right.
Sanghas of Vishwananda and sangha of Prabhupada in coordination. It's nice. This.
I agree. They're also spreading quite a message. I mean, I walked with them the night I sent you the video from the Ramla of them. I had started with them at the temple, and we walked the entire Ramla around Plaza Catalunya and then down the other side
with Mahamandra
and around the Catholic church, which is very interesting, and the entire time with a police escort behind. But this was almost 3 hours of Mahamantra in the street, and
in esoteric language, from theosophism we are inside of energy,
right?
In fields of energy, and a group of persons reciting a mantra, it's cleaning the space.
Absolutely, and the ladies are inviting the tourists and people to dance with them. And this is something I haven't seen before with ISKCON. You know, when they're doing this, that people from outside are joining them.
It's very open. The ISKCON movement in Barcelona, I like very much. I love deeply Dwarkadas, the director. Sometimes I speak with him. I feel in love with Sri Krishna. And I am a Mayavadi, okay. My idea is you can fusion in non-duality, but I love this moment.
Sure.
I cannot criticize.
How can you?
Moment.
Yeah. How can you not love it? I mean, it's I think that. Yeah.
I sometimes I see YouTubes of Srila Prabhupada in United States with the hippie movement.
It's difficult because Prabhupada was a very heavy critic of Swami Vivekananda. I don't know if you know this.
I don't know.
He spoke very poorly of Swami Vivekananda.
But I love Vivekananda too.
Yeah, so this is something that was difficult for me to understand, you know, and I think I don't know where that sentiment comes from. I don't know the whole story about that. I just know that that he had this attitude, and I don't know if it's coming up from a place of sort of fundamental Vaishnavism, you know, where he's just Vaishnava and Krishna is the ultimate goal.
Rasa. There are the theory of the rasas. It's not a theory, it's an experience. Inner experience. You can develop Sakya Rasa. In this moment I have Sakya Rasa is like friendship. It's a spiritual transcendental emotion of friendship.
It's just curious
but
to
there
me.
are Raudra Rasa. For example, Vishnu Devananda tell that Raudra Rasa is very contundent. It's aggressivity in name of God, for example, or in another hand can be insult God. When you insult God, it's very strange rasa. When you insult God, you are, for example, a person who criticize an organization like Hare Krishna movement can be, oh, fucking Hare Krishna. Okay, it's telling fucking Hare Krishna, but it's expressing Hare Krishna.
Right, at the same
time.
time.
Maybe it's connecting with Krishna.
Right.
It's a very strange.
Even insulting God is acknowledging God.
You are reciting Mahamantra.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Even though you're insulting.
You know.
Yeah, at the same time. Absolutely.
I think Prabhupada explains things about this.
Absolutely.
And Vivekananda.
Prabhupada also talks about the relationship in this way to Krishna. He talks about how you can get closer to Krishna, to have darshan of Krishna through different attitudes towards Krishna. You can take Krishna as a lover. You can take Krishna as a friend. You can take Krishna even from what I understand, as and in that way, as a friend, as a buddy, even not just a friend, but like a buddy, like schoolmate, meaning you can tease him and poke him and say "fuck you, Krishna," like that. But joking though, like a friend.
Okay.
No, this is,
Yeah,
but this
Sakya
vasa is
rasa,
here.
Sakya
Yeah,
rasa.
this is here. I know that's difficult to say that, right? But it's real. It's crazy, but it's real, and it's okay, because if you have that feeling, right, some like punky kind of like "fuck you," like you're angry. Get angry at Krishna. That's what Prabhupada he would say this. He would teach this. Get mad at Krishna. Don't get mad at your brother.
Yeah.
Don't take it out on your brother, because that's what you do, right? You take it out on your brother or your mother, even. You take it out, like you're mad. I'm mad.
Okay, you can do
Because Krishna can deal with this. Krishna can accept this. It's easier for him to listen to this, because he knows that it's all,
Maybe you can do a bidi, like I'm doing this, and smoke with the telling inner Bam Bam Bolenat Har Har Mahadev, and with the vision of Shiva vision, and okay. In Dzogchen, in Tibetan tradition, pure and impure, it's the same. There are non-dualistic vision, for example. You can, in this tradition, they do strange practices. For example, eat meat, and but with mantras for connect with the. It's extreme bodhicitta. You eat meat and connect with the animal for transformate the experience, and it's only in literal ritual. It's not all the time. And in Agor tradition, they eat human meat. Go to crematories. I have diksha of mantras of Agor.
Yes. No. I know this.
I never eat human meat. Never.
No, I think
but
that's
I have
quite
the
extreme.
mantras because I stayed with a guru of Occidental guru of this tradition, and they do. Extreme.
Well, it reminds me too of another practice in Tibetan Buddhism about how they'll pound their dead. Their dead family, or someone who's died. There's a tradition of pounding them, like breaking down the bones and offer this. But first they smash it, break it all down.
This is like a offering to animals in the hills.
Sure.
And like this kind of animals.
The vultures and
Okay. There are a lot of cosmovisions, maybe anthropology. Tradition of philosophy can understand these things, maybe not. I don't know, but okay, maybe we can.
But isn't that it? But doesn't that tie into Dharma though? In a way, the in terms of that attitude towards the body, the meaninglessness in that way of the body in its living form, like it's. Like this person has now died, so rather than making a nice grave and stone and beautiful, no, we just pound it up and give it to the birds because it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's meat and bones.
Yeah.
And this is part of the Dharma, no?
Yeah. I remember now a sentence of Svoboda Agor book. it is tipped with a sentence of study philosophy without mumukshutva or an anhelo de liberación, will of be liberated. It's like acicalar a un cadáver, like touch people who die. And okay, it's, I don't understand, but I stayed at home in 2019 year. How is this year in English for the people?
2019.
Okay, year. And a man with Diksha in Parampara Agor comes to my house with a kapala, and I have this darshan. I eat food from his kapala. I touch this kapala and eat food.